Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Jordi, and in this video I will be showing you the similarities between the Ainu language spoken by indigenous people in the northern part of Japan and around it, and the Guarani language spoken by indigenous people in South America. This video is the English version of the videos I did in Japanese, but this one comes with a PDF. The link is below in the description. In this video there's a lot of information with lots of example sentences and lots of explanations on the affixes. Pause the video when needed to look at the information slowly. You can use the PDF, and at the end of part 2 I will show a comparison table with all the affixes side by side, and I will make a few comments after that. So without any further ado, let's dive right into it. The first thing to consider is whether Ainu and Guarani people that are located so far apart from each other, if they could have any relation at all. For that, we can have a look at how human migrations into the Americas happened. All indigenous groups came from Asia, but in 3 different migration waves. The first wave was along the coast more than 16,000 years ago. The continent was covered in ice, but not the coast. The second wave happened on land when the Beringia land corridor opened almost 14,000 years ago. The last wave of migrations was along the Arctic around 6,000 years ago. Let us have a closer look at the first wave of migrations. The ancestors of the Ainu were already present in northeastern Asia, so it is possible that they were related to the people of that first wave, either ethnically or linguistically. Coastal migrations can happen very fast, so their descendants soon reached South America. In Monteverde, Chile, there are remains of human dwellings that are more than 15,000 years old. And descendants of those groups eventually reached where the Guarani people live today. But even if Ainu and Guarani people may share an ancestral language, after such a long time, the languages they have today are very different from it. Languages change over time, and after a few thousand years, they change so much that they become different languages. And after 9 or 10,000 years, virtually nothing remains of the original vocabulary. But affixes, which are the components of the words, are, in many cases, more resistant to change. That is how a genealogical link was proven by Vajda in 2008 between the Nadaini languages and the Yeniseian languages in central Siberia. The Nadaini-Yeniseian language split happened more than 7,000 years ago. So, even in the case that the Ainu and Guarani people share an ancestral language, the language split between them would be double than that, more than 14,000 years ago. But I believe they still share their affixes that prove that they are related. Sentence 1. Ainu. Teta oruspeanu yakkapirkaya. Teta mokoran kusuen. Guarani. Apu kaujuanduran impurapa. Apu o kearamo daevei. English. If I listen to a story here, is it alright? As someone sleeps here, it is not alright. The prefix a in the first verb, anu, aindu, is the prefix for the subject in the first person singular. So anu, aindu means I listen. Anu is the classical form in Ainu for the first person, used in tales and myths. The current spoken form is kunu. Oruspe, kaujo is story. Teta, apu is here. The last syllable in teta, apu, corresponds to the English preposition in or at. English prepositions correspond to postpositions in Ainu and Guarani. After the verb, we have the adverb yakka, ran, which is translated as if. In this case, if I listen to story here. Pirkaya iporampa, is it good? Ya, pa, being the question marker. English adjectives correspond to verbs in Ainu and Guarani. Pirka iporan means it is good. And when, daere, in the reply, means it is bad. In the reply, the suffix an, a, in the verb mokor, oke, is the suffix for the subject, for the indefinite third person. So, mokoran, okea, means someone sleeps. In Ainu and Guarani, the affixes clearly show who the subject is, so personal pronouns are not needed. The adverbs kusu, ramo, mean as because of the fact that. So, teta mokoran kusu, apu okearamo, because someone sleeps here. So, teta mokoran kusuen, apu okearamo daere, because someone sleeps here, it is not okay. Sentence 2. Ainu. Eyairaikeru suihita, hapu enukaru kusu, ejekote oman wa ekoitak. Guarani. Rejeju kacheapu, ha iderecharamo, de akatu owu, dereroawu. English. When you wanted to kill yourself, as mom saw you, she went towards you and talked with you. This is a complex sentence with 4 clauses. The first clause, the verb is raike, juka, to kill, and the first affix, re, indicates the second person singular, you. And after that we have yai, je, which is the reflexive. So, eyairaike rejejuka is you kill yourself. After the verb, we have rusui, che, which is the desire. And it means, in this case, you want to kill yourself or you wanted to. The tense is shown in the context. He, ha, is a nominalizer, an action. So, the act of, in this case, the act of your wanting to kill yourself. Ta, pu, is the postposition that we saw in sentence 1. So it's at the act of your wanting to kill yourself. So it's translated as when you wanted to kill yourself. In the second clause, the verb is nukar, echa, with an R in the front, erecha, to join with the prefix. The prefix e, de, in this case, shows direct object. Ainu and Guarani verbs have affixes to refer to the subject and to the object. This prefix is for the direct object in the second person singular. In Ainu, it's the same as in the subject, but we will see that the two inflections for subject and object are indeed different. Hapo, ha'i, is mother. The last syllable, po, I, is the diminutive, also to show affection. So I think that the root ha, which is also used in Japanese haha for mom, is one of the words that resist time because of the strong bond between the child and the mother. Nouns are invariable in Ainu and Guarani. They have no masculine, no feminine, no singular, no plural. And the nouns don't change in any part of the sentence. If they're subject or direct object, we know their function from the context, or in other functions by using postpositions. After the verb kusu, ramo, because we saw that in the previous example, so hapu nukaru kusu, haiderecharamo, because mother saw you. The third clause, the verb is oman, o, for the subject in the third person singular. The marker in Ainu is null, there's no marker, and in Guarani it's o. So this refers to the mom. She went, ejekote de akatu, towards you. E, de is also the prefix for the direct object, so the postpositions are inflected in the same manner as the verb inflects for the direct object. So, ejekote oman, de akatuo, she went towards you. At the end of the clause, we have wa, wu, which is the conjunction and to join verbs or clauses. In the last clause, itak, awu, is to speak. Ko, ero, is the applicative, which makes the intransitive verb transitive. So it can have a direct object. In this case, the prefix is e, de, you. In Guarani, de and ero are joined with the sound r, derero. The applicative may have different purposes or functions. In this case, is commutative, to make someone do something and to participate in the action. So, ekoitak, derero awu, is she made you speak and spoke with you, so she spoke with you. So, the full sentence, when you wanted to kill yourself, as mom saw you, she went towards you and talked with you. Sentence 3. Ainu. Okayo utar hopumpa wa ueneusan nankor. Guarani. Awakwedu owupawu jogurawurantawu. English. The men will probably all wake up and talk with one another. This sentence has two clauses. In the first one, the verb hopuni, wu, to wake up, is conjugated for the subject in the third person. After the verb, the suffix pa, which is the same in both languages, is used to make the plural form of the verb. The subject is plural. So, hopumpa, owupa, means they wake up, or they all wake up. The subject is okayo utaru, awakweru. For awa, we would use more awakwe. Okayo, awa, is man, and utaru, kweru, is the pluralizer. In Ainu and Guarani, the plural is shown with this external pluralizer. In the second clause, neusar, awu, to speak, has two prefixes. The first one, u, jo, is to show the action is reciprocal, means to one another. And we, wero, is the applicative, with the same function as in the previous sentence, to do something with someone, in this case, to do something with one another. It's for the third person. In Ainu, there's no marker. And in this case, also in Guarani, the absence of marker shows its third person. Ueneusar, joweroawu, is they speak with one another. And after the verb, the adverbial particle nankor, randawu, is to show what the speaker thinks may happen. The men will probably all wake up and talk to one another. And that concludes part 1. Here are the 3 sentences we analyzed. The affixes are highlighted in blue and other similarities in yellow. We can also see how similar the sentences are overall. In part 2, we will use simple sentences to analyze these and other affixes one by one, so we will be able to understand the complete structure of Ainu and Guarani verbs and to compare them in a table. That's all for now. I'll be glad to read your comments, and please share this video if you think it may be of interest to others. And I hope to see you soon in part 2.